once we start the film. So welcome to tonight's viewing and discussion of The Biggest Little Farm. It's presented by Meaningful Movies Sustainable Ballard, and we're really excited to finally be showing this film. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. I'm Jenny Hines, I'm your MC, and I'm with Meaningful Movies Sustainable Ballard. Also helping out with the tech tonight is Max Rennie. Max still has his camera on, that's great. If you have any technical difficulties, you can use the chat box below to send him a private chat. And also coming on the call at some point, I saw she had signed up, is Donna Lynn, who's, oh, you're here?
Yeah, I'm not on video though.
Great. So Donna Lynn is our project lead for Meaningful Movies. So our agenda tonight is this. We're going to start the film in a minute and it'll run for about 90 minutes. Like I asked before, please turn off your video so that people don't need to watch you watching the film. And if you don't turn off your video, we will do that for you, and then we'll have to invite you to turn it back on. So if you want control of your own video, turn off your own camera. And then as soon as the film ends around 7, we'll invite you to share your screen and we'll start our discussion. And we'll likely create some breakout rooms with this many people so we can have some smaller discussions and then come back together around 7:45 to hear from each other. And just as a sort of Zoom etiquette, please keep yourself muted until you are ready to talk. And you can either push the unmute button, or the mute button is in the lower left, and unmute, same place. Push your space while you're talking and then let go of it when you're done talking. On behalf of Meaningful Movies and Sustainable Ballards, thank you so much for making it here and being patient with our roller coaster experience with trying to get this film. If you were able to make a donation, we really appreciate that. Your donation helps us to present future movies through the Meaningful Movies Project. And the Meaningful Movies Project is a network of groups who share ideas and experiences with showing movies and hosting discussions in Seattle and around Washington, different communities. All of the groups now are offering films virtually, which gives you access to any of the films offered by the network. The website is meaningfulmovies.org. And Sustainable Ballard is one of the groups that's part of the network. And we're more than just movies. Many of our programs are currently running on a limited basis, but the market gleaning team is still delivering produce from the farmers market to the food bank. Our knitters for the homeless are meeting monthly via Zoom and knitting together there. The Ballard Tool Library is open by appointment, and Meals with Neighbors is preparing bag lunches for hungry neighbors. So you can check out our website for what's going on with us at sustainableballard.org. So that's about it for our little intro. If you'll just bear with me for just a second while I turn off and turn on the right things, I'll just get the movie started here. I'm creating an echo. Did I fix that? Yes. All right, well, I'd love to invite everybody to turn your screens on if you're able, and if you're not, put a message in the chat so we can enable you. If you came in during the film and your screen was on, we probably turned you off. So I have some, let's see, how many people do we have here, Max? 25? We were talking about splitting up into 4 rooms. Maybe we should do 5 rooms of 5 each. So what I'd like to do is split everyone up into rooms and then give you all 5 minutes to introduce yourselves to each other. Pick someone who's going to take notes to share back with us at the end of the discussion.
I can't reclaim hosts as well, Jenny, so I can't split them.
Oh, you can't?
Breakout rooms, yeah, sorry.
I'll do that. I'll make you the host. So we have the ability then to send questions out to each room. So we can just, after 5 minutes, I'll send you the first question. Do folks want me to read off what all the questions are going to be before you go out there? Or does anyone want to ask any questions before we split off into rooms?
Can you please enable my video?
Is that Kate?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you able to enable her video, Max? Kate Kirkwood?
I was just looking at that now and I can't, oops, cancel that. Should just be able to click.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything when I click on it.
Yeah, and if I do the more, it just says ask to start video. Maybe if I do that. Does that do anything, Kate? Does that allow you to?
Yeah, if you click that.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, cool.
And there might be, I don't know if there are any other people in the chat.
Yeah, let me have a look. Ask to start video. Yeah, if you can't enable your video, maybe just type in the chat and I can enable it for you.
All right, so while we're getting everybody's videos up, I am going to read off the questions that I came up with for us to discuss. So the first question is, how did John and Molly attempt to exercise biomimicry? The next one was, what other decisions did John and Molly make that drove them towards success? And do any of those translate to an urban environment? And then the final one is, we see several examples of symbiotic relationships in the film. What types of symbiosis should we encourage or nourish in our community?
Well, I'm just dying to talk about the snails. I mean, as soon as I saw them, I said, send in the ducks, for goodness sake. I mean, I was yelling at them. I kept yelling, send in the ducks. And finally they did it. But anyway, oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
They had to figure it out for themselves, so I guess.
Yes, well, they did. That was good. That's why it was so good, because it showed, it was real. It really showed problems and how they solved them. And to lose Alan like that, of course, well, then they had to be separate, you know, he'd sent them on their way.
Huh?
Oh, yes, it was gorgeous.
Do any of you know how they're doing with, you know, the fires in California right now?
Actually, I have no idea. No, we haven't looked into that, I don't think.
I didn't know where it was set before. That was new to me, that it was California.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like we're down to 18 people now, so maybe only, should we do 4 rooms?
Yeah, maybe.
Or 3 rooms of 6
maybe
each?
3, yeah. Okay, I'll put that through now.
All right, so you'll see a little window pop up on your screen inviting you to a breakout room, and then you have to click that, and then you'll be in the room, and then I'll be able to send messages that'll show up at the very top of your screen with the questions, and then it'll also let you know when we're all going to come back together. It'll give you a 30-second warning that we're all coming back together. So you want to go ahead and split us all up, Max?
Sure.
Oh.
Just then.
Hi, we decided to invite everyone back since there are so few people joining us now. We thought we could start with, go to question 2 with the whole group. And if you all want to see everyone else, I suggest clicking on gallery view in the upper right-hand corner of your screen instead of just seeing a few people. So second question is in the chat. I don't know, maybe I need to stick it in there again for people here to see. So what other decisions did John and Molly make that drove them toward success? And do any of those translate to an urban environment? Besides biomimicry.
Well, they just took a step back and looked. I mean, after a few years, they finally,
Yeah,
after Alan was gone, but I mean, just
observation, yeah.
Well, the cover crop helped them for when they had the heavy rain.
Uh-huh.
This is the second time I've seen this, and I was really struck this time by how quickly they asked for help and had this human community that you know, appeared around the farm, that they couldn't possibly have done that much direct hands-on work without, you know, those numbers of energetic and committed
yes,
people.
yes, lots of hands.
That was huge, yeah.
Mhm.
And something that I think translates very well to the urban environment.
I didn't show a lot of that work, you know, that's involved. Did you notice that? I mean, I love the movie, but like I said, in my small group, it's like the skeptical part of me says it's a little too LA, you know, it's like, it looks too easy. It looks, I mean, I'm glad they did what they did, and it was a wonderful experiment. But, you know, it seems to me if you're just one farm, it's very difficult to pull this off unless you have a whole community that you're surrounded by doing the same thing. And I guess that's what would be important in an urban environment too, is if you, wherever you're going things, is if you're in a community of people that are committed to the same goals and the same, you know, treating the soil well, and not, you know, first reaction is to kill something.
Right.
Well, I'm in a pea patch, and I mean, I guess that's an example of urban horticulture, whatever. But I mean, we've had a terrible time with rabbits this season, but I don't know what, I mean, I know people that tried 3 times to grow beans and finally gave up. And people were putting fences. That was what amazed me. Fences. Australian rabbits burrow, but American ones apparently don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them do.
I'm amazed. I mean, there was this great film called The Rabbit-Proof Fence, which was a true story, and that, but that even didn't stop the rabbits. But anyway, it's yeah, we just learn from each other, and I mean, that's it. All you can do is, you know, PCC. They just we help rescue organic farms, and it's all you can do is just go bit by bit and try and maintain those wonderful little pockets. And you can't save the world, but you can at least do your own bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then others learn by looking. If they're interested in having a sustainable situation, then we learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say another thing that they did that fostered success for them was the perseverance, like trusting that the approach they were taking in the end was going to work out, even though it seemed like disaster a lot.
Yes, Alan told them it'll all even out eventually, but
Right.
they had to wait.
4 years or 5 years.
Yes.
And I guess they had a vision, and they kept their vision.
That's right. Yes.
hard to maintain that vision when it's being torn down.
Yeah, I would like to talk to some more organic farmers right now. I believe in what these people are doing, but I think it's overall, there's probably some really tough times.
Big time.
It seemed like there were some pieces that we didn't have all the information, like they have an empty piggy bank and then we need an investor, we got an investor, and then on to building the farm. And then another line was, well, we used up a year's worth of money in 6 months. So what happened with that?
I know. I loved it. It was beautifully filmed. And we need that right now. During COVID especially, and everything else.
So I'd like to know more how much money, who they got the money from, how much they paid for it, because it felt to me like there were some pieces missing.
And I wonder how they're doing in local farms, how they're doing. Farmers markets are going, but I don't think they're going really well. I think it's pretty slow.
I think it's really hard for the vendors, yeah.
Yeah.
I have read that there's been an increase in, it's not CRM, it's the CRA. Is it CRA?
CFA.
Sorry.
Agriculture.
I have read that that's increasing. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Buying directly from the farm.
And it's delivered to you. I think it's like every 10 days or something like that. You get a box of fresh fruit, and I have read that that's a really popular thing right now because people are trying to support local businesses, and obviously, some people don't really want to go to the grocery store right now or the farmers market. So it's a really good alternative for that, at least.
Yeah, I imagine people who already were doing the produce delivery probably increased as well. I know I did.
I just don't know if that's cost effective, when you think of that versus a whole, distribution network that works with, peculiar stores or farmers markets. I know at least it's something. I think that's great, but
look at how Trader Joe's is becoming so popular. I live in Spokane, and we finally got a Trader Joe's, and then we got another one. It's like, whoa, you guys, Trader Joe's, why? The excitement was amazing.
Let me just share with you that Trader Joe's is owned by a German company, comparable to Walmart. They're not like a farmer's market.
Right. But
Huge for
whatever reason, people seem to think people go there as if they're doing something good. I personally don't go there. It's not convenient for me to go there anyway. But just that there are people around who want to pay more and are willing to pay more for what they think is a value that they want to support.
Well, I would certainly think that the delivery, because they go to a different area each day, so all of their deliveries are in a certain area, as opposed to just getting a delivery from the grocery store where it's just at your whim whenever you need it. Like actually having to plan ahead for those CSA deliveries probably reduces transportation some, at least. Shall we take a look at my third question? I'm going to put it in the chat here. So I was interested in this, so many symbiotic relationships in the film. And we could certainly talk about some of those. Like we talked in our small group, we talked about the ducks and the slugs and the ducks. And that was before we broke out. Yeah. And the gophers and the coyotes and all of that. Can you all think of different symbioses that make sense for our community?
I have had rats in my backyard, and I'm extremely happy when the hawks come flying over or come nearby. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, hawks, yes. I have witnessed a hawk get one of the rats. So I think that's a great one.
Yeah, I think that it seems like we probably all noticed a lot more wildlife when we were all not going out as much. So that there was of course we saw a coyote in our neighborhood here in Ballard.
But I mean, you guys tell me. I mean, rabbits. I know in my neighborhood. I live in a condominium, but I've heard rabbits are really. I mean, I've seen them, but I know as far as people who garden and are really having issues with them.
Yeah, they're everywhere, rabbits right now. I feel like it's only increasing. Actually, I feel like I see more and more rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a conversation with a group of friends, and one person said, "I saw a rabbit in my backyard this year," and every one of the rest of us said, "So did I." Wow.
People were talking about the coyotes strolling through their gardens and not even caring if the owner was out there or anything. And so I said, well, send them over to the pea patch. We've got lots of rabbits for them to eat. Come on.
I was thinking about that, sort of looking a little more suburban or urban than just the wildlife, but about the reduction in transportation being a good symbiotic relationship with health and air quality and that kind of thing, and then just getting the exercise of being out walking and riding your bike rather than driving around is some.
And then on top of that,
that's something I'd like to encourage.
Yeah, people have more time to do walking. Some people do.
What were you going to say, Max?
I was going to say on top of that, it's probably really good for your mental health as well. Doing a little bit of exercise, kind of getting out of the house. I know that's been really big for me ever since quarantine's been hit. Just like trying to get outside once a day and go for a walk or run or so.
And have you noticed? The gardens, people's yards and parking strips. When this started in March and spring, I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No excuses now.
Yeah, it's funny. The quarantine to me seems to have gotten me more exercise and out more than I normally do because I work from home anyway, but I just sort of changed my mindset when I felt trapped.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things that have come out of it, but the traffic's gone back to usual. I mean, terrible drivers and terrible. Oh, anyway, but made people rethink some of their priorities anyway. So that's good. Just helped.
Yeah. We're getting some noise off of Shannon. Any other thoughts? Anything else you guys wanted to talk about related to the film?
Well, thank you for making this possible. Yeah, I know it was the link. It looked like from the emails was tricky to get, but I really appreciate it. It's a beautiful film, really inspiring, and thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no, what happened, the link that we sent out 2 days ago, somehow the directors shut it off, so I had to text them this morning and say, our link doesn't work. That's the one we're going to use to show the film tonight, besides sharing it with all of you. So they said to just let them know when we're done with it. So we'll send the link out to everyone and give you guys another, at least till tomorrow midnight to watch it again.
Thank you.
Know that there were some breaks in the film as well.
Yes, I don't know what that was about. All the
I'm sure
little-
that was. I'm sure that you won't get it when you use the link. That was me using the link through my streaming. I kicked everyone else in the house off of the internet so that I could. But I have the highest speed internet that you can get in this neighborhood. So I thought we'd be good enough. But anyway, it was better than last time, Max can tell you. We had shorter little breaks.
And we're all used to all this stuff now. That's sort of our new reality, right?
Yeah.
I have to say one of the lines that really tickled me was when Alan first showed up and he commented, he was wearing all linen.
Yes.
Did you trust a man that wears all linen?
And sandals. Anyway, they didn't show it. They didn't show him though. I saw his feet, his sandals, but that's about all.
So LA, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's LA.
Well,
Dear.
regardless
Oh,
of
dear.
the one comment I would make is that we're seeing one approach and the results of that approach, and we're not seeing how bad off the so-called traditional conservative, which is not. I mean, it's it's the farms that are using pesticides and that are I mean, they did show that one shot of the huge amount of loss of topsoil that was happening to all of their neighboring farms. So
Yes.
I think one of the things about COVID and us is really that I think it's showing up a lot of the problems with our current food distribution system and how that's working. So I get very hopeful seeing this kind of a film, because I think that it's a good time for us to be looking at what our current system is and whether it really is going to be sustainable, because I think there are issues with it that are coming to light because of COVID. So I just really appreciate that that Sustainable Ballard showed this, and it's really great prompt for me to be thinking more about it all and trying to learn more about it.
Right.
About our food systems.
I think it's super important. Like, I grew up on a farm, like in Australia, a potato farm. And like, yeah, I think that's one thing that really separates good farmers from bad farmers. It's like those little things like planting cover crops and making sure that you're giving back to the soil and the farm and doing those little things. And it definitely adds up. Like they said, it's like in those extreme events, whether it's drought, whether it's 20 inches of rain or whatever they said, it's like your farm can just hold up because it has that kind of rigidness to it of just kind of it's built well and it's built properly, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resiliency.
Which part of Australia are you from?
I grew up in the Riverina in New South Wales.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Albury.
Oh, nice. My grandpa lives in Albury. There you go.
Small world.
Yeah, they're too small, actually.
So, because you guys from Australia, because we're so far away, the fires that happened last year, I mean, was that most of Australia that those farms occurred, or mainly like in Southeast?
Yes, it wasn't widespread at all.
It was mostly up the coast. It was like right up the East Coast.
Okay. Yeah, is where all the population is. But that's it. It's very deceiving the way they broadcast it. Australia's on fire. They showed a picture of it from outer space, and it was all red. I mean, that was ridiculous. It wasn't like that at all.
I was there, and it was pretty bad.
I know. I'm sure it was bad, but they made it sound like the whole of Australia was burning up.
Yeah, that's what I kind of mean. I couldn't tell. I heard stuff, I couldn't really tell. That's why I wanted to ask you guys.
For reference, the California fires, and I think it was 2016 or 17. It was like 4 times bigger than that. It burned like, I think like 6 million hectares or something, 6 million acres or something.
Huge. It's still
Well,
huge.
it was awful. All the wildlife that was burnt. That's what bothered me.
It was a lot of national parks. Yeah, that was the sad part.
yeah, awful.
Mhm.
Because they weren't removing the undergrowth, the getting rid of all the, the tinder that they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to take out all the dry stuff, and it was.
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's definitely a little bit of climate change, and I do agree that it probably was that contributed to it eventually a little bit, but I think at the same time I think the Australian government in particular is very quick to be like, well, it's because like we got banned from doing that, but I think it's also a combination of factors for sure.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah. It's not just one thing. Yes, that's it. That's
yeah.
Right,
so what brought you to Seattle from Australia?
I got recruited to row for UW, and then Jenny roped me into staying with Sustainable Ballard.
All right, that's exciting.
Good.
So, no, it's been good. I love it. It's a good spot.
Oh, really?
It's really fun.
Oh, good. Because I don't know the rest of you, but I'm a longtime Seattle person, and I've also until fairly recently worked retail a lot. I engage people a lot, and that I've therefore find my life, it's very easy to engage people, and yet I hear that Seattle has this reputation of being not so engaging. So I hope that things like this help you to feel more a part of things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I've managed to find a few spots to fit in. Don't worry. So I love it.
Good.
Hey Jennifer, it's nice to see you.
Hi there. Can I ask you, did we sign up through Eventbrite for this?
No, we didn't.
Okay, just wondered how that went.
Vimeo, this is.
No, this is Zoom. But
well, I got mine through Vimeo.
Well, Vimeo was to see the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the.
But we were able to contribute money.
I know it's a Zoom meeting, but I mean, they were asking, did I want to join Vimeo?
And I always ask you if you want to join.
And I started, and then they said, "Oh, we already have that email," but I don't remember what my password was. So
Weren't we able to contribute something towards this?
Yes.
Okay.
Through our software called Wild Apricot.
Okay.
Yeah, which is similar. The setup was similar to Eventbrite. Okay. Did you come to the Eventbrite training that I did?
Yes, all 4 of us were there, right? That surprised me that there wasn't more than that. But I'm going to go over it with Barb, our fearless leader, and see about. That seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
Use Eventbrite. So
it seems.
So
like they're going to be able to.
Someone new to Meaningful Movies, do you know? Is there a calendar of like? I know this is through Sustainable Ballard, but is there like another movie on the horizon?
Yes, I just got an email today about Meaningful Movies again. I mean, I've been going to them for years, but in the original one in Wallingford, and so I think it's Wallingford. Yes. Anyway, so
where it started,
they just announced another one today. So if you go to the Facebook page, I think, just put in meaningfulmovies.org and then Meaningful Movies Project. That's what the official name is, I guess.
Okay.
And then you can get on the mailing list, so they will let you know what's happening, what's coming up.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The website is meaningfulmovies.org. And you can
all right.
Well, I thought the project got put in there, that word project also.
I think, well, maybe you can get there either way, but.
Yes, well, anyway, website, yes. But I go to Diane. If I have a trouble, I just go to Diane because she figures out she can tell me what's happening or why I can't get in or something. So she's a godsend to me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I'm going to leave you all. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good
thanks
night.
for joining us.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks everyone for
Yes,
joining us.
indeed. Yes, it was great. Good.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Hope so.